What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Beyond Ordinary podcast. My name is m.youngblood, and we got another amazing guest here today. He is a celebrity photographer out here in the DMV area. He's also my fraternity brother, Phi Beta Sigma Fraternity Incorporated Almighty Alpha Chapter, and his name is Joshua Cole, aka J. Cole. How you doing today, brother?
I'm doing great today, actually.
You doing great?
Yeah, thanks for having me on your podcast.
Of course. Anytime, brother. So I just want to talk to about like some of your experience in terms of photography and stuff like that. I know that you've only been doing photography for like, what, 2 or 3 years, and you've really like climbed the ranks, and you were just in New York last weekend for the Met Gala. So I just wanted to ask about that experience and how that was for you, especially from where you were last year, because I think you went last year as well.
Yeah, so like you said, I started photography about 2 years ago now, a little under 2 years, but it's actually just been a crazy journey. So to take you through the Met Gala, I did go last year, and my plan last year, I work at a law firm, of course, as you know, but I work at a law firm, so I got off work, literally drove to the airport, hopped on a flight, and went directly to New York
dedicated.
for the Met Gala. Yeah, exactly. I had a vision. I'm like, look, I have to take some pictures of these people's outfits, so let me just do what I can. So that was last year. I sit outside of like some of the popular hotels, take pictures of the celebrities and whatnot. And while I was there, I ran into Keke Palmer, her photographer, in the lobby. And I feel like this was my chance to, take a picture and make a good impression. So I asked her photographer, like, do you mind if I take a picture? I didn't want to overstep any boundaries. They agreed, so I took a picture of them, and that was that. And that year, I had great pictures. I took pictures of A$AP Rocky and Rihanna, Keke Palmer, as I just mentioned, Halle Bailey, just a lot of celebrities. So it was a great experience. But fast forwarding to this year, it was a totally different vibe, because the same photographer I met last year, I reached back out to him and I was like, hey, I know you're in New York again, so if you ever need an assistant or anything, let me know. I'm here in New York as well. So he immediately gave me a call and was like, well, let me have you cleared and pull up tomorrow at 11 a.m. And I didn't know what to expect, but I was like, okay, cool, let me just follow this. So I pulled up at 11 a.m. and we went from his hotel to Keke Palmer's suite. And I was behind the scenes for everything. I got to see her get ready. I got to experience the inner workings of the Met Gala, as well as taking pictures for Vanity Fair and also official pictures for Keke Palmer too. So it was a full circle.
Most definitely a full circle moment. So take us back to last year to like this year. How were you able to kind of nurture that relationship to be able to leverage it for this year?
Yeah, I think the main thing I was doing is being genuine and also consistent. So the person that I was reaching out to was also a photographer. So when I saw he was posting work, I would comment on it. If I really liked it, I would share it. If I had work or new things that I put out, I would send it to him, ask him his thoughts. And he would sometimes just slide up on my story like, this is a nice shot. This is nice composition. So just nurturing that relationship and not going into it with expectations, but just being genuine and knowing that I can learn something from somebody in the field.
Right. If it gets anywhere, it gets anywhere. But just even having a photographer just kind of show you the ropes, especially as a newcomer, was probably just valuable to you in general. And I know, transitioning to Keke, I know she just dropped those pictures and you was tagged in almost all those pictures, you know what I mean? She seemed to just like your work. So like what have you been doing to like really just stick out as a photographer?
So even that was very surreal for me, because she had 3 photographers on set. So we all were, moving around each other, trying to get the best shot, trying to get the best pictures.
Of course. And
fast forward to the day after the Met Gala, and I go on her Instagram, and as you said, she posted 4 separate pictures, and all of them happened to be ones that I took. So it was reassuring to know, like, I wasn't technically booked for this, but I was invited in that space, and clearly I did what I needed to do.
Absolutely.
I don't know. I felt like I was just trying to take the best shot possible, in my opinion. Like, I wasn't doing anything special, but some note that I did get from someone on her team, he does like reels and like recap videos for her. As I was taking pictures, he kind of whispered to me and was like, Keke Palmer really likes black and white photos for when she's getting ready, because they're more timeless. So once he said that, something flipped in my mind, and I said, okay, I never thought to take pictures like that. So that's what I started doing, and ironically enough, those are the black and white photos that she ended up posting. So I would say just being adaptable, listening to the people who've been in that environment before, and just not being afraid to switch things up.
Most definitely. Yeah, man. Like, your hard work has definitely paid off. Like, for those of you that don't know, like, I was actually in New York that weekend, and me and Josh, we rode back at, like, we didn't get back till, what, 6 a.m. that night? And then we had to go to work the next day. And so, like, your hard work and persistence has really paid off. So,
thank you.
Take us, yeah, no problem, man. Take us back to, like, the very beginning of your photography journey. Like, what made you want to even pursue photography to begin with?
Yeah, so when I first started photography, it was kind of out of nowhere, but I would say it was a slow transition because I've always been a social media type person. So
Oh, we know.
I'm the friend in the group. If anyone wants Instagram pictures, they're texting me like, oh, come meet me over here. I'm by the library. Yeah, literally captions, video ideas, outfit ideas, anything. I'm the person that helps my friends do that. So I was doing that for the longest. And I remember at Howard University, I was running for a position or something like that. And I posted on my Instagram story, come to the yard if you want like first day of school pictures, right? I didn't have any camera, I didn't have a lighting crew or nothing. I was gonna just take iPhone pictures. Sheesh. And like over 90 people showed up. Like people were texting me, calling me like, where are you at? Can you take my pictures? Can you take my pictures?
You had a line of 90 people in the yard?
Yeah, it was packed. Like it was crazy. I was there from like 3 to maybe 5 or 6 just taking people's pictures with my iPhone so they could post on the first day of class. So once that situation happened, I kind of realized like, okay, people also see the talent, or that I can take a good picture, or
with just iPhone.
Yeah, just an iPhone, exactly. So with that being said, I lived with my line brother at the time, who happened to work at HBO. He's in the entertainment industry as well, and he was upgrading some of his equipment. So he had an old camera, and he just asked me like, "Oh, well, do you want this? Because I'm not using it anymore." Right. So I took that opportunity. I got the camera, and from there, I just felt like, okay, if my iPhone photography can do this, now I can level it up because I have the tools that I need. And that's when I just started reaching out to people, trying to do creative shoots and really just elevate and take it to the next level.
Most definitely. Crazy. And you've been doing photography for how long?
About 2 years now. 2
years?
Yeah.
Dang, so you're already a celebrity photographer? After 2 years? Damn, bro. No, I'm just messing with you. So as a self-taught photographer, how did you develop your skill set and style like over time? And how was the learning curve too?
Yeah, I would say I'm still finding my style because I am so new, but not Instagram, but YouTube has been my best friend. When I first started, I would edit everything on my iPad and just, honestly, I was just doing quick edits and turnarounds, but I realized I needed to level up if I wanted my business to level up and wanted my skill set to level up. So I watch a lot of YouTube tutorials. I follow a lot of creatives who are also doing the same thing as me and doing it a little bit better because I'm always here to learn and absorb everything like a sponge. So that's what's helped me the best.
And then right now, do you have like a crew that's helping you, or are you just doing this yourself?
I'm solo dolo. I take the pictures, I edit the pictures, I bring all the equipment, set up, shut down, like book the shoots, I manage the calendar, I do it all.
Man, and I know you had mentioned that you're a law firm.
Yeah, I'm a paralegal technically, but yeah.
Paralegal, yeah. So you're a paralegal full time, and then you do photography as well. So like, how are you like managing both of those like at the same time? Like, what does your time management look like?
Yeah, time management has gotten a lot better this year because I will say last year I would be at work 9 to 5, of course, and then on my lunch break I would go and take a shoot and do a graduation shoot, do a creative shoot. Yeah, I have an hour lunch break. And I would literally try to fit things in between. Or even last year, graduation season was crazy for me. I would wake up early. I would do a graduation shoot at like 7 a.m., 7 to 8. Then I would go eat breakfast, then go to work from 9 to 5. Sometimes on those days where I, woke up early and did a shoot, I would still do a shoot on my lunch break, do a shoot after work. So I learned from that, and now this year I block my calendar off. So 9 to 5, I'm out of commission. I'm not doing anything. Special occasions maybe, but yeah, and I just shoot after 5 p.m. during the week, and then the weekends are my busiest booking days.
Yeah, I'm sure. And then like you're editing too, like the pictures like after the shoots and whatnot.
Yeah. Okay. So with that, yeah, I typically take all the pictures one day, of course. I send them to my client. They pick which ones they want me to edit, and then I get those back to them in like a week. And for me personally, I feel like my editing is what kind of sets me apart and takes my photos from one level to the next.
Most definitely. Yeah, definitely the editing is key, man. In terms of like client expectations, like how were you able to like as a newcomer like kind of manage that? Did you like let people know, hey, like I'm just new starting, or were you just like I'm just gonna just accept whoever and then they just gonna? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I feel like I just was accepting whoever because, and I kind of still do that because I'm looking at it as each shoot is going to help me learn something.
Exactly.
I'm either going to learn a new photography skill, a new editing style, learning how to interact with different types of people. So I rarely turn people down unless there's a scheduling conflict.
Yeah, most definitely. In terms of also, how do you go about the creative direction in terms of like with your clients?
Mm-hmm.
Like, do you let them like? Do you throw your own flair on it? Do you just like have them like come to you with stuff? Like how does that work?
That's a great question. I feel like it depends client by client. So sometimes clients come to me, they know exactly what they want. They've ordered the props or they have a great reference photos. But majority of the time, I meet them in the middle. So I have a consultation with them. I create a mood board. They tell me what they do like, what they don't like. And then when we show up to set, we're bouncing ideas off each other. I'll say like, oh, that looks good, do this. Or maybe put your leg back there. They'll ask me how things look. So it's really a collaborative effort. But that's how I try to make the visions come to life.
And then can you tell us about like a story about like like what's so funny? I didn't even ask the question yet.
I know what you're about to ask.
Oh my god, that's CP right there. Nah, so can you tell us about a story where maybe like the vision wasn't like quite there yet, or like some like a struggle that you had with like a client and how you were able to like come to some sort of resolution?
Yeah, so I'll rewind back to my first time that I ever got a chargeback dispute. Never had to deal with that, of course. Like I said, I've been doing everything solo dolo in-house. Yep. So with this specific client, they wanted a graduation photo shoot. They booked me, I want to say, in April, but the shoot wasn't going to be until, I want to say, August or something. Like, they reached out very, very, very early. So I was like, okay, it's set in stone. So comes to the day of their shoot. You know, we're getting the shots. I'm showing them. They like them, allegedly or whatever. They like them.
Say allegedly.
So, yeah, I download all the pictures. I send them to my client, and then they text me and said, "I don't like any of these. I want them further back." Da da da. Like they just had a list of complaints, which is also something I've never dealt with before. So yeah. I went out of my way, and I don't even know if most photographers do this, but I was like, okay, let's set up another day, and I'll come reshoot you. Like no extra charge. I'll come back out and make sure I get what you want.
Reshot.
Yeah, reshots. But what ended up happening is we kept rescheduling. This is around Howard homecoming time. So exactly. The campus is shut down. People are moving in and out of the city. You know, everybody has something going on.
Facts.
Also, my birthday is during homecoming week, so I had my own stuff going on. But we just could not align on the timing of everything. So his thought process was, well, I didn't like my original shoot. We didn't get a chance to reschedule or do the second shoot, da 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 da. And then, yeah, he just charged back the account. And I was like, wow. And actually, I'm mistelling the story because I want to say we did reshoot it, but I took a long time editing, too long for him in his timeline. Huh? Yeah, basically that's what happened. I reshot it.
Oh my gosh.
I sent him the pictures. He liked the second ones better, but I think the time between picking his pictures and getting the edits back, that's when he refunded the money.
So what? Like, did he say, "Hey, like this is taking too long," or he was just like, just?
No, he sent a long, like, dragged out message. Like
saying what? Go ahead.
I don't want to be too messy, but, like, just telling me all his gripes with the situation and all that. And ironically enough, his pictures were done. So I was like, I'm sorry you feel this way, but here's your pictures. Like, still got the pictures.
So he got his pictures, too?
Got the pictures and got the money back.
Oh, nah, he ran off.
Yeah.
Damn, I'm sorry to hear that. But, shoot, I guess on the flip side, like, tell us, like, what's, like, one of the most rewarding aspects of, you know, being a photographer?
I would say one of the most rewarding aspects is when everything comes out as planned. And the first thing that comes to mind is a graduation shoot I did last year for one of my really good friends, Tiana. She's a TikTok influencer. She does like beauty content and things like that. But she had a great vision of doing a graduation shoot inspired by Metro Boomin's album at the time.
Oh, I remember that.
Yeah, where it's like two of her / two of him on the cover. So she brought me the idea. I had never edited something like that, but I told her, like, you know what, I can do it. And back then I wasn't using studios either, so I was doing shoots in my apartment living room. So I was like, you know what, we're gonna make it happen. So
shit out the mud.
Exactly. So she trusted me to do that. We shot everything. She saw the vision because the first pictures, of course, it's in a living room. It's not gonna look like the final product, but she still trusted me. So I ended up posting them. Editing them, of course, sending it and posting them. So it was gaining slow traction, but I was happy that she was very happy. And then we went to sleep. The next day we woke up. On TikTok, it had like 250 56,000 likes.
Oh shit.
Yeah, it blew up crazy. Heck of comments, people saving it like, I'm doing this, thank you so much for the inspiration.
Yeah.
Then it took off on Instagram because an Instagram page that's popular called HBCU Drip.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, they post a lot of grad photos or just people on HBCU campuses who dress well. They ended up posting the shoot, and then maybe 30 minutes after that, Metro Boomin himself ended up posting the shoot and ended up commenting and liking. So I feel like from that, it made me feel rewarded because I knew my client was happy, but also it seemed like my work was being appreciated on a larger scale.
Most definitely. Yeah, man, that's big. Like I definitely remember like that shoot, and at the time and being on Instagram and just scrolling and seeing all the love that you were receiving. And seeing your journey as a photographer honestly has just been just crazy, man. Like I can't wait to see where you plan on taking this, which is going to be my next question, man. Like where are you trying to take this photography?
I honestly don't know. Like I consider it still a hobby and a side gig because, like I said, I work 9 to 5. So I'm just going wherever God leads me. A lot of these opportunities, I feel like I didn't get them myself. Like I do believe in a higher power who's been guiding my steps. Yeah. But I don't see myself doing this full time. I'm just trying to. I don't. Like I plan on being a lawyer. I plan on even starting my own law firm. Like I have bigger dreams, but photography is something that's a passion. It doesn't feel like a job when I'm doing it. So I'm just gonna keep creating, keep working, keep networking, and letting it take me where it goes.
Wherever. So it's just something that like you kind of do, and it's like not necessarily a priority. I'm assuming like.
It is a priority because I love doing it, but I'm not in it for the money or for the notoriety. Like I was happy taking pictures of my friends. I was happy taking pictures, just taking good pictures. That's what I find most rewarding. If I did have to put a goal up there, though, I mean, I've done a lot so far. Maybe getting a cover of a magazine. I could see myself doing that or aspiring to do that.
Okay. Yeah. That's what's up, bro. That's what's up. And then looking back at your journey, is there anything that you wish you would have known or anything that you would have changed differently?
Yeah, I wish I would have known, one, how to better brand myself a little bit as a business owner, because I feel like a lot of people that I work with are in my network or they're friends, associates, so the lines kind of get a little bit blurred between expectations of when you're purchasing a service from someone. Like I feel like people get real comfortable with like, oh, this is just my homie, it's just my homeboy, but it's like I am also running a business right now. I am, trying to get those things in order too, so.
Man, you don't gotta tell me about that. Like, one thing that I never felt right asking people who I knew for like discounts as a business owner, because it's like, especially like supporting black businesses, I don't want to like feel like I know you and I'm not gonna pay the price that everybody else is gonna pay, because I wouldn't want somebody to do that for me, you know what I mean? Like, so I feel you on that 100%.
A lot of people don't operate like that though.
Don't?
I've had people ask me for free shoots, which I do them sometimes. I do them a lot of the times actually.
Oh, okay.
I rarely say no, I'm not gonna lie, but I have people
That's good to know.
Okay.
I'm gonna file that charge back, because best believe I booked J. Cole for next weekend.
Thank you for your support. That's all I can say. Like, thank you.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm always looking out. It's even people that have booked me like, oh, I have to take headshots. What's your pricing? I tell them the price, and they're like, oh, well, I might be able to do it in 2 or 3 months. And if they're family or friends, I'll just be like, you could pay me half. Like, I got you. Because I'm not in it for, I'm not trying to be a capitalist. I really just like taking pictures. And if it's a picture that can help, that's even more of a reason to want to do it.
Where was all this when we was talking?
I mean, you got them. You see where we're at. You have the funds. Like.
Oh, okay. So that's what you do. You discriminate price. You be like, oh, what's his net worth? Oh, okay. So that's $1K for 30 minutes. Come on,
bro. Gotta get it how I live.
Get it how you live. So now that you're like a little more seasoned and you've been doing this for a while, like what are you doing to continuously like improve?
Yeah, I'm always looking at other people's work. I'm always looking to create more things for myself too. And I try to diversify my portfolio. So I've done concerts. I went to my first concert or festival last year and took some pictures there. I realized I like live events and like doing that. So always just trying to have my hand in something new. I've done food photography and had pictures on websites and menus for DoorDash. I've done newborn photography, like literally just not trying to limit myself and expand as much as I can. Like I don't want to just be known as, oh, he's a wedding photographer, he's a graduation photographer. Right. No, I can do it all. So
Miss Jack of all trades.
Yeah.
So like what's your like favorite out of like all those like types? Do you like studios? Do you like the food stuff that you was talking about?
Yeah, my favorite, I would say, I just like creative concepts. I'll put that in a category in itself. So I like when people come to me with an idea that's out of the box and just bringing that to life. So those have been my favorite thus far. And aside from that, live events. So concerts or even the Met Gala, low key, I would consider that a live event because it wasn't like she was posing for the photos. I was getting BTS of her getting ready or walking. Even when she did pose, it was like for 2 minutes. So things like that where I'm in the moment, I'm active, and I'm, have to be attentive.
That's what's up. That's what's up. Like, being a photographer, obviously, like, that's a form of art. And, like, whenever you put something out there that is a artwork, people are going to critique it. Like, was there any, like, hesitancy about, like, oh, is this good enough, da-da-da, like, what are people going to say, like, or was you kind of just like, shoot, this is what I got, y'all going to...
Yeah, I feel like there's been some shoots that I posted and I'm like, oh, this is amazing. I don't care what nobody says. I love this. So I do have those moments at times. But if I'm being honest, a majority of the time I am a little conscious. Like, okay, I hope my client likes this. Or like, what's the TL gonna say? Like, yeah, I really do think about that. And it's even worse when I send the pictures to my client and they like open the message but don't say I love the photos. Like, I would go
silent for like a little minute.
Yes, like that's the most nerve-wracking part for me because I want them to immediately say, or I love them, or heart the message or something, but the little waiting period between sending the photos and hearing their reaction, that's what gets to me. But other than that, I'm learning to try to let that go and just be proud of the work that I put in and and putting out.
Yeah, no, especially with social media, it's like you get that instant gratification from the likes. So it's like if you post something and you have like, I don't know, maybe a like expectation that you like when you post it and then it doesn't happen, then it's like, it make you feel a type of way.
I've been there. I actually started hiding some of my likes on my photography page.
You started hiding them?
I'm ashamed to say because I feel like the collaborations I do, I can post one shoot and it'll get 5,000 likes. I can post another shoot and it gets 92, and I'm just like, whoa, like that's too much of a big difference. Even though the pictures are still good,
people gonna say you bought them likes.
Yeah, bro. So it's just like some stuff hits the explore page and it goes up. Others is just like a birthday shoot or something a little more low key. So I've learned to just stop putting the value in the likes and just knowing that my work is good enough.
Definitely. So in terms of like clientele, like how do you go about getting more clients? Like, is it word of mouth? You running ads? Like,
that's a good question. I actually started asking my grad clients. It's grad season right now, so that's been a majority of my clients. I typically ask them like, how did you hear about me? Did someone tell you what's going on? And most of them are finding me through Instagram. So social media has been my biggest marketing tool, and it's not like I'm actively searching for clients. I just have been blessed enough to be booked, and I guess my name is in the algorithm. So it's all been working out. If I am honest though, I did run a graduation shoot contest at the beginning of April, and for that I did do an Instagram ad to like boost it out to the different accounts. But I don't know if those worked because Instagram started showing me the ad on my personal page, and I'm like, I don't need to see this. This is my business.
I mean, that's just what happens. Like, I've ran like IG ads before, like, you know what I mean? Like,
yeah, they need to fix that. Like, show it to other people. I feel like they show it to people that seen it, but yeah, that's basically how I get clients.
Most definitely. And then is it like referral based a lot or like?
That happens a lot too. I know, you already know, we're in this fraternity together, so a lot of my brothers will reach out, or they'll be like, hey, my sister needs this, my friend needs this. I'll have a lot of returning clients too. Like one client, I did her graduation shoot. She ended up booking me for her birthday shoot the following year. I'll do like a birthday shoot, then next thing you know, I'm doing their family portraits, like things like that. So people tend to come back to me for different things.
Most def. That's dope. Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, in terms of like the referral clients, one thing, actually shout out Alex Hermosi, in terms of referrals, if someone says, yo, like, this person may need X, Y, and Z, like, you have them make like a 3-way chat with you, so that way you're more than likely to get a response from the other person. So it's not like you reaching out cold. Cause
that's a great tip.
Yeah.
And honestly, I don't even, as a photographer, I don't reach out. They typically reach out to me. But
my fault. I was just trying to put a tip out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, if you don't need it, I know you've been booked up for the past 3 months. You know what I'm saying? Raising your prices out the ass and stuff.
Prices went up $50. I feel like I should charge more, but that's another story.
Yeah, that's another story for another day. But yeah, I mean, shoot, charge what you're worth, man. The people willing to pay, like, you know what I mean? Like, it is what it is. Like, the worst thing that you can do is look around at what everybody else is charging and trying to be the cheapest option. Because, like, I think I explained this to you one time before in terms of, like, premium prices get you premium clients. So, like, someone who's going to pay top dollar for something is not going to sit up here and file a chargeback because you took, 3 days to get them their edits. They're not going to do that. So that's, like, always, like, something to, like, another reason to, like, charge more. You know what I mean?
Yeah, and honestly, when you gave me that advice, that's why I did raise my prices a little bit. And I mean, I've been doing a lot more since then, so they might go up again, but I'm learning to try to price gouge myself and, you know, not count myself out and compare myself to the people charging way more than me.
Yeah, exactly. Just run your own race, especially like if you're just trying to do this like as a passion and whatnot, because like if you're like trying to like really like on some super duper business stuff, like yeah, like do that, but like obviously you want to give people the homie hookup or whatever.
Yeah.
You don't want to like be like, oh well, I'm $500 and it's like a family friend or whatever, and you're not trying to do that to them. So
definitely.
For sure. All right, let's do this. What advice would you give an aspiring photographer who's just now getting in? What advice would you give them?
I would tell them to not be afraid to try new things. Don't compare themselves, and also the result that you get is going to be from the work that you put in. So it's not going to happen overnight. There are going to be days where the shoot day is long and, you know,
absolutely,
editing time is long. You might not even know how to edit what your client wants, but never be afraid to learn, and just the more work you put in, the better, you know, the result will be.
Yeah, most definitely. One thing that I was telling myself for this year that I was going to do is make my goal the inputs and not the outputs. And like what I mean by that is, so like when I was doing, well I still do this now, the short form videos for my clients, I remember I used to have a goal of let me get one client every single month, right? But instead of making my goal be let me get one client every single month, I engineered it or reverse engineered it and said, okay, what would make it unreasonable for me to get one client a month? Like how many outreaches would that be? And I told myself, okay, if I like did like, I don't know, 30 or 40 outreaches, like super hyper personalized, I could probably do that. So once I did that, that gave me something actionable to do like every single day. So, and then funnily enough, like that month I actually secured, or I think it was over the span of like a month and a half, I ended up getting 2 clients because I actually was like, okay, like this is what the output I want to be, this is what the input should be, and then I broke it up per day and then just made it happen. So
that's a great strategy. I actually need to start using that.
Yeah, I've honestly just been recently getting a lot more intentional in terms of my goals. One thing that I realized about myself is that in terms of like goal setting, sometimes I don't like revisit them enough, right? So I'll get to the end of the year, like, so I have a journal, right? And my longest journal entry always is New Year's Eve, because I'll write what I did for that day, and then I'll recap the year. This last year for 2023, I actually recapped the year, like each month, like what was something significant that happened.
Yeah.
And then I'll put my goals from last year, and then did I achieve them, yes or no, and then why not, and then I'll put the new goals for this year. So yeah, it's a long process, but I tell to say I'll get to the end and I'll be like, damn, like so many things like changed in my life and I went in a different direction that this goal no longer applies. But because I didn't do that, like I didn't like go back and I changed my goals, like it kind of like, you know, I don't know. It didn't feel like not a waste of time, but it was like I wasted time. But it's like, damn, I wish I went back and I changed it. So like I didn't like going into 2024. I didn't expect to be starting a podcast. I really thought of this idea not too long ago. So when I thought about that, I was like, okay, now I need to go back and I need to add that to my yearly goals. And so I started putting down all the goals for the podcast. But I know that like Miles from last year or 2 years ago, he wouldn't have done that. I would have got to the end of the year and been like, oh damn, I forgot to add the podcast, and now I got to wait and to see if I hit those goals for next year. You know what I mean? Yeah. So yeah, and then another thing I also do is I have like a whiteboard that has my monthly goals, and I'll have that like somewhere in my room, and then closer to where my desk is, I have where my daily like what I need to do for the day. So, and I try not to pile it on too much, because I found that like if I put anything more than like 3 items, something doesn't happen. Like
that's realistic.
You know
I can see that.
So
I was gonna ask you though, you kind of mentioned it, but how do you set goals for your business, and do you revisit them like quarterly, or do you do it per month? Like, how do you do that?
How do I set goals? That's a good question. For me, I always like to keep the long term in mind. Like, where do I want to go, right? What does that look like? And then I'll kind of like break that down in terms of like, for example, one of my goals for the podcast is like, let me get monetized, right? Or by the end of the year, get monetized. Now we're in, I think, May? So I got like I got some months to go, right? So I told myself, I was like, okay, in order for me to do that, what do I need to do? And I was like, okay, let me just shoot every single week. You know what I mean? And I really wanted to like interview people that are like doing great things. I don't even think I gave that disclaimer at the beginning, is that the slogan of the podcast is great people doing great things to inspire you to do the same. You know what I mean? And you're doing dope stuff with your photography stuff. And so I was like, you know what, like let me just bring on Josh, let me bring on whoever, and also like get those repetitions in. and realized that, like, I don't know how many podcasts you listen to, but I listen to a lot of podcasts, right? So I'm kind of like numb to it. I just like listen to it, and in my head I'm like, oh, this seems pretty easy. You're just talking to people. But once you like really like putting it, like, when you want to be great at something, like you want to be good, like, oh my god, there's like so much like work that goes into it. Do you know who Chris Williamson is?
No, who's that?
So he's he owns the Modern Wisdom podcast, right? And I think his slogan is, he just like, life is complicated and hard to like navigate, so I want to make it easier for you. And so he brings on a lot of like celebrities, like Alex Hormozy, who I was telling you about earlier, right? And he did this podcast with Hamza, and at the end of the podcast, Hamza said, yo, you articulate your points so well, like, how do you do it? And he was like, yo, I got like a speech coach. Like, I would, have conversations with my friends, like put like a microphone down and we would just have a conversation about a random topic. I'd go back and I'd listen to it, and I was like, oh shit, like, I'm over here thinking that you just talking to people, but there's like, it's a whole nother ballgame when you're like actually trying to be good. You know what I mean? So yeah, hopefully that answers your questions about the goals and stuff.
It definitely did, and it actually brought me back to something I did when I first started photography. I remember I wanted to diversify my portfolio, so like you're doing with the podcast, I made it a goal to get a shoot every week. Like you said, that repetition, it builds, it helps you practice your skills, right, and you refine them and just get better. So I like that you're doing that, and it's early in your podcast journey right now, but I do see this going far. Oh
yeah, no, most definitely. I'm just staying the course, really just doing what I can, bringing people on. I have a shoot next week with Chris. You're going to be, taking those pictures and stuff in the background. And then I'm also going to the World Series of Poker to go film some podcasts down there, and that's going to be an experience because I'm also going to play as well. I know. I don't know how far I'm gonna get. I don't even play too many tournament games either, and I'm trying to tell you, like, the difference between tournament games and cash games are completely different. So we're gonna see how that goes. But yeah, we also need to hit the table. You need to stop dodging, bro.
Don't lie to the podcast. We know what happened last time.
That was in 2020 during COVID.
Yo, last time we played poker, I've never played before.
Go ahead.
I mean, I took all his chips. He was done. That was that.
Right.
And for my first time playing.
Right. And then every time it's like, oh, we gonna go to the casino. What ends up happening? Wasn't we supposed to go like 2 weekends ago? And what happened with it? Right, exactly. Like,
but see,
don't lie to these people.
My thing is, I like to play with my friends. Like, no money's on the table. We just, chilling. The casino is a different ballgame.
You can't do that, because when no money's involved, see, it goes back to what I was telling you about like the premium clients and stuff. Like, your mindset is completely different when you have nothing to lose, compared to like, oh, I'm going all in and I'm sitting down, and if I lose like this, like, it's done. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
we'll see. Let me know how you do at the World Poker tournament.
We could go later tonight and play. Shoot, you feel me? Like, ain't nothing. All right, I got a few like quick fire round questions before we wrap this up here.
All right.
What's your favorite location for a photo shoot?
My favorite location, somewhere outdoors with a lot of natural light. If I'm saying DC, maybe like the National Monuments.
Mm-hmm. And then film or digital photography?
Digital, only because I haven't worked with film yet.
Really?
Yeah.
Why not?
I love the look of film, but I just never tapped into that side.
That's what's up. Favorite lens to shoot with?
My favorite lens, I don't even know the actual measurements. I think it's like an 18.
No, I'm playing.
I'm doing all this photography. I only have 2 lenses, mind you. But
really?
Yeah, I have the starter lens it came with, and I bought another one. But I like the one that I bought. It's the 18 millimeter, I think. It's Canon, so I love that one.
And then the most unusual thing or place where you photographed?
The most unusual place, I would say, is like an alley in New York. Like, that was very spontaneous, random.
Alley?
Yeah. It was a great shot, though. It came out fire.
I'm dead. If you were a photographer, what profession would you pursue?
I think I could pursue a profession in social media, influencing, like, content creation. Why are you looking like that?
No, I was just trying to be funny.
But yeah, I think I could do that. I could see myself in that lane.
Okay. And then what celebrity or influencer would you like to shoot?
I have a list of a lot of people. I would love to shoot Zendaya. I would love to shoot Rihanna officially. I would like to shoot Beyonce, Nicki Minaj, Coco Jones is a huge one. I feel like that's around the corner. Like, I could see that happening soon. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
Most definitely. Well, Josh, I greatly appreciate you hopping on the podcast, man. I know, like, we talk every single day, so I just had to get you on the pod. You've been doing some great stuff, and hopefully you inspire some people to get off their ass and get to work. Where can they find you at?
Yeah, so y'all can find me on Instagram at Joshua Cole __ or my photography page, excuse me, is J Cole Shot It. So I'm gonna spell those out just in case y'all don't got it. So JOSHUACOLE __ and that's all platforms, Twitter, TikTok.
Most definitely, we're gonna put that up on the screen so people could check you out. And until next time, y'all, be great and catch you in the next episode.